Where do I go to get a quitclaim deed? Hi, welcome back. I'm Ted Thomas. I've been involved in real estate since 1970. But most of the last 25 years, I've been doing tax liens and tax deeds. So this episode is going to be about where do I go to get a quitclaim deed? So I need to give you some basic information first, some foundational information, and you'll completely understand this. This is a way that real estate is transferred. It's transferred by using deeds. There are lots of different types of deeds. I will share many of those different ways in this episode. So each of the deeds is different, but you'll learn a lot in this particular episode. Now, my experience comes from not only doing it day to day, but it does come some from books, but most of my experience comes from being in the trenches and doing this on a day-to-day basis. I'm going to be able to guide you. I've been guiding people for 25 years. In this short video, I'll also explain a layman's standpoint on quitclaim deeds, all of which don't make you any money, but you can make big money in tax deeds and tax lien certificates. Now, before I finish, in the last 2 minutes, I'm going to tell you about two huge mistakes that people make at the tax defaulted auctions. You don't want to make those mistakes. So come back and make sure you stay all the way through this. I'll be right back. Where do I go to get a quitclaim deed? That's the episode we're going to talk about. I'm going to take you through a transition from one deed to another deed so you completely understand what's going on. This is a business of tax liens and tax defaulted property. It's been around for 200 years. The United States has been selling these certificates and selling tax defaulted properties all of that time. Now, there's over 3,000 counties. Half of the counties will sell tax deeds. The other half of the counties will sell tax lien certificates. The big concern when you're talking about quitclaim deeds is you're going to buy a property from the county. Now, when that county sells you the property, more than likely, they're going to use the transfer device, which is a deed. They're going to use a quitclaim deed. It could be a sheriff's deed. It could be a treasurer's deed. But more than likely, you're going to get a quitclaim deed. And I'm going to cover all that in this lesson. Now, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a real estate broker. I'm just an entrepreneur and an experienced tax lien and deed buyer. I got my experience working in the trenches, buying and investing. So that's where my experience comes from. Okay, now where do you get a quitclaim deed? Well, you could go to a title company and get one. You could go to an attorney to get one, okay? But you're more than likely going to end up with one when you buy at a tax defaulted auction. All right, so let's talk about regular deeds first of all, which are usually grant deeds or warranty deeds. That's what most buyers and sellers are used to receiving when they get a property. When you buy at a tax defaulted auction, you'll get a sheriff's deed, a treasurer's deed, a mortgage deed. It could have all kinds of names, but more than likely, it's going to be a quitclaim deed. And that means it's going to have many disclaimers in it. What does a disclaimer mean? It simply means the grantor, which is the county, is granting you this property, but they're disclaiming any responsibility for the title or for the property. So the county is disclaiming any responsibility for the title and for the property. Now, normally when people buy property, they get a warranty deed or a grant deed. So that's a lot different than a quitclaim deed. Okay, so let's say Mr. X sells you a property. More than likely you'll get a grant deed or a warranty deed or something very similar. All right, if you have any challenges with this, you'll have an attorney help you with the sale or a title company help you with the sale. But what you need to be cautious of, if you get a quitclaim deed, now that gives you all the responsibility, not only for the property, but for anything that's going on to the title. So make this really simple. Anytime you're getting a quitclaim deed, you're getting a deed that the other party is disclaiming. In other words, they're saying, we have no responsibility for the title and no responsibility for the property. That's usually how the county's going to sell a property. All right. Is this going to be confusing? Yes, and if it is, you're going to get an attorney. You can watch this video a couple of times, but oversimplification, go to Wikipedia. They'll tell you that a grantor is passing a property to a grantee. All right, so you're the grantee. You're collecting, you're getting the property. And when you do, if you've got a quitclaim deed, what you have is the responsibility now to make sure that the title gets cleared and to make sure that the property doesn't have any problems, all right? Now, if you want to go sell this, and that's our game, we basically buy these at low prices and resell them, you're probably going to need a quiet title action to be done. Now, I won't cover quiet title on this particular video, but I will cover it on a later video. All right, so where do you get a quitclaim deed? Well, you get a quitclaim deed at a title company, from an attorney, you get one online. I'll give you an example. I have a client that had a wonderful property that they purchased from the county. They actually had a tax lien certificate that the owner never paid, so they ended up with the property. So the county didn't know anything about the property, so the county gave them a quitclaim deed. So the county said, we have no responsibility. We're disclaiming any responsibility. We don't know if the title is good or the property is good. So now what were they going to do? Well, they sold the property about 15 months later, and when they did the same thing. They sold with a quitclaim deed. So the new buyer was more than willing, because of the price they sold it, was more than willing to go ahead and do the quiet title. All right, so we're not going to talk about quiet title today, but you can tune in later. As a matter of fact, if you have questions, put your questions below me. I'm happy to answer those. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do 2 questions right now. What is my opinion on buying a boat slip? Well, if a boat slip has a tax number, now not all of them do, then they're qualifying it as real estate. So the real estate taxes were not paid, so the county foreclosed and you could buy that. So yes, you could buy that, but most boat slips are going to be privately owned and they won't have a tax number. But if they do have a tax number, it's taxed as real estate. Okay, so my boat slip happens to have a tax number, and if I don't pay the tax, someone else could buy the boat slip for the back taxes. That's the business you want to be in. Okay, the question is, how do you find out about liens? Well, first of all, if you're one of our students, we have classes on that 2 days of the week. They're actually free classes for anybody that's a student. But if you want to find out how to research property, you need to learn how to do that online. But all liens are listed at the county. Okay, so let's talk about those 2 big mistakes. Number 1, people show up at the auction and they right away start bidding. They're really excited, so they want to get going. You don't want to bid at an auction if you haven't seen the property. Why? What if there was a hurricane? What if there was a big storm and there was a flood? What if there was a fire? Something might have happened to that property since you last looked at it. So if you've not looked at it, don't bid at all. If you have looked at it, it has to be recent, very close to the auction time. So looking at a property, a lot of people don't do it, and then they get in big trouble and they lose a lot of money because the property isn't any good when they get there. So that's number 1. Number 2, you don't want to bid in an auction unless you have an exit strategy. So if you don't know what you're going to sell the property for, how can you plan on bidding? You could easily bid too high. So what you want to do is you want to plan your purchases. So you need to know exactly what the property is worth, what you can sell it for, and what you can sell it for quickly before you start bidding at auction. That's called an exit strategy. All right, folks, if you learned a lot in these lessons, we have a lot more for you, and all you have to do is join my community. Now, I have a gift for you if you do join the community, and all you have to do is go below me, but the gift is a quick start. Now, what does quick start mean? It's just a short course that's online that you can start right away learning about tax liens and deeds. The first part of the quick start is about tax lien certificate. The second part is all about tax deeds. You can learn both of those, and you can do that. Just go below me. It's a free course. It's my gift to you.